Welcome to Yo-11 Minutes. Yo-11 Minutes, mostly Vegas, no BS, casino experience, and more. Today's episode, Zuck sucks, a Wynn Boston dispute, and a Baccarat heater. It's episode 85, season 3 of Yo-11 Minutes. Michael Traeger is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into reality. And now your host, Michael Traeger. How's it going, Michael?
It's going great, but it was a crazy day.
It didn't sound like it was going. It didn't sound like it was going great. It didn't sound like it's been great.
For some reason, the link that we were using for the direct link to purchase ZorkFest tickets, Facebook decided it was against community standards. Not only in my Facebook group, but every other Facebook group that posted the link, as well as if you use the link in comments. So, of course, this is why Zuck sucks, because this makes no sense at all. And, of course, it's been disputed with Facebook, but we have a different link we're using. But it's just so frustrating to launch an event which has had the most ticket sales we have ever had in the first 24 hours for ZorkFest to all of a sudden have all of the posts removed in Facebook groups. I shouldn't even laugh about it. I should be crying about it. But you know what? We will prevail, okay? Maybe Zuck has something against me. Or maybe there's somebody out there who really hates me. There are a couple of them. So, they're the ones who usually leave the 1-star reviews.
You know what? It's probably a 1-star review guy. It's got to be 1-star review guy.
It's that guy that said that you suck so badly that I can't even I wasted time. I even wasted my time writing the 1-star review for you.
At least it was a good 1-star review.
Yeah, I think sometimes the internet is just it's just almost comical. The whole entire world of it. But anyway, this is a great time to remind you to give us a like on YouTube. To give us also to subscribe. And we never do that. Like 83 episodes, we've never asked anyone to subscribe to the channel. Wow, we really suck at YouTube. And also, please go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. And you should make sure you tip your next Uber driver and give him a 5-star review. Unless he's like the Uber driver I had last week, who I'm not even going to go there. So that's it. That's all of my advice for today.
And that's going to do it for this episode. I'm just kidding. We have a lot going on. We got news and other things. And once again, Virgin Hotels finds itself in the news again. Here we go. Virgin Hotels. Las Vegas says it's filed a labor complaint against the Culinary Union after plans were announced for a 48-hour strike starting Friday. A spokesperson for the resort says Virgin Hotels has called on the Culinary Union to enter mediation as soon as possible, but the union has declined to participate. Our commitment to providing exceptional service remains unwavering, and we continue to work towards a swift resolution that benefits both our team members and our guests. Virgin Hotels said in a statement, "If a strike begins on Friday, we intend to take all lawful steps necessary to continue operating and providing exceptional guest service." An unfair labor practice charge has been filed with the National Labor Relations Board, according to the resort. Culinary Union leaders and Virgin Hotels have been locked in months-long talks for a new 5-year collective bargaining agreement covering hospitality workers at the property. Employees covered by the union have been working under the terms of their previous contract, which expired in June last year. Workers at Virgin Las Vegas deserve fair wage increases, and they are organized and ready to strike for it. Ted Papageorge, Secretary-Treasurer for the Culinary Union, said in a statement, "Several pickets have been staged earlier this year, but Friday's strike would be the first organized by the union in 22 years. Union leaders have asked people not to cross the picket line and to visit other resorts during the strike, which would last from 5 a.m. Friday through 5 a.m. Sunday." And that's going to do it for the news. And now for the views. Michael, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I cannot believe that the Secretary-Treasurer for the Culinary Union's name is Ted Papageorge.
Yeah.
Because if anyone knows Vegas Vacation, and I'm sure a lot of people know, that was Papa Giorgio. Remember the fake ID?
Yep. Yep, yep. That's the first thing I thought when I read that too. It was just like, wait, is this correct? Let me
And it's
confirm
funny. It's
this.
so funny. We didn't talk about this beforehand, but as I'm going over this, because it's been such a crazy day, as the news, I'm like, his name is really Ted Papa George, the Secretary Treasurer for the Culinary Union. That can't be. Honestly, the you're punking me on this. Okay, this is you just did this to see if I would catch it.
I want to see what his ID looks like. Honestly, I gotta see if it looks like his head is through the thing. I don't know, man. It's it's an interesting name to have, that's for sure.
Yeah, what's interesting. So anyway, going on to the strike, it's a 48-hour strike, which is very strange. Scott of Vital Vegas surmised on the internet, or otherwise known as X, that it was because the Culinary Union couldn't afford more than a 48-hour strike to pay their people. I'm not sure that's necessarily true. I don't really understand. I think this is just simply a contract dispute. Of course, Virgin, now their casino is going to be operated internally. They're having culinary union disputes, which happens all the time. What I don't understand, and I never understand this, is that one statement where a spokesperson for the resort says Virgin Hotels has called on the culinary union to enter mediation as soon as possible, but the union has declined to participate. So I don't know if this has been going on, the contract stuff, and now they don't want to mediate. I don't know if it's the union sort of playing hardball, but who knows?
Remember that every other property so far has already settled with the culinary union because we went
Mhm.
towards the end of last year. They were all gonna, they threatened to do a strike during F1 or something like that. Remember, and then like all the strip properties and a lot of downtown stuff and all except, but we have a holdout, and the holdout is Virgin. So that's probably why the union's like, no, we're not gonna do mediation again. We're just gonna go ahead and
Why didn't we
strike.
talk about that? I didn't even know they were the holdout. Were you holding out from me, Movestra?
No, but I was just, figuring it out. I remember MGM came to an agreement. I remember Caesars Entertainment came to an agreement. Treasure Island eventually came to an agreement, and all that, and
You know what
Marriott's
this
downtown, but
proves?
not
You know
Virgin.
what you know what this proves? That nobody gives a flying fuck about Virgin. Nobody cares. Like nobody's talking about Virgin. Is it true? It is true. It is
I
true.
think so. I mean, the fact that they're finding themselves for a second day in a row, mind you, in the
Mhm.
news, uh, you know, uh, they're getting rid of Mohegan, and they want to bring it in house, and they're the only ones that haven't settled with the culinary union yet. I'm thinking there is some financial difficulties going on at Virgin Hotels right now. I think that's what the underlying issue is.
Or
It's
Virgin
that
Hotels in Las Vegas.
in
Yes.
Las Vegas, yes, yes. I
When you
mean,
ever, whenever I see the name Virgin, you would probably sing this better. Don't you always think of the Madonna song? I love that song.
I always think of the Virgin Megastore in Times Square. They also had Virgin Megastores in other locations as well, and it was, before MP3s and downloadable music was a thing. And in Times Square, it was a three-story building. I think it's a Forever 21 now, and part of it became a Disney store. But it was a mecca that I practically lived in because I was so into music, and it was just sprawling. It was wonderful. I miss it. I wish they still existed, but hard to find record stores now.
My most amazing night would be Madonna and Debbie Harry with Like a Virgin, followed by Heart of Glass.
Oh, you mean performances by them?
Yes,
Okay, I
yes.
was wondering where this was going. Okay, that all right, gotcha.
Anyway, total random note, but that's anyway. Anyone who doesn't know, I absolutely love Madonna. I love her. No matter what she does, I will always love her, even though I think some of the plastic surgery isn't so befitting of her. But I absolutely love her, and I happened to see Madonna in concert in New York, Boston, and Amsterdam. And that's it. I'm sticking with it. I'm a huge Madonna fan. I think she's awesome.
All right. Well, some people say that Madonna is kind of a tease. So let's get on with the tease.
Okay, well, today's tease is the other news from the other coast is that Wynn suspends casino expansion in dispute over taxes and payments to Everett. And this is actually Encore Boston Harbor we're talking about. And you happen to see some pictures from Encore Boston Harbor that were all taken by me shortly after the property opened. I was there for opening. It's a great property. And basically, Wynn Resorts has suspended its planned expansion of Encore Boston Harbor Casino in Everett, saying it can't come to terms over things like taxes and impact fees with the city of Everett. Remember, even though it is called Encore Boston Harbor, it is in Everett, Massachusetts, which is very, very close to Boston and has a nice little ferry over to the financial district. And it's one of the, remember, Massachusetts is zoned. It's zoned with how many casinos. So there can't be multiple casino operators in the zone where Boston is. One of the other zones, one of the other resort casinos is owned by MGM in Springfield, Massachusetts. I hear that property's also, I think, is on the chopping block for MGM to be sold. And then there is a non-resort property. I think it's in Plainfield, Massachusetts. Anyway, however, Wynn was saying that basically it became apparent that they're unable to negotiate an agreement with the city of Everett regarding property taxes, impact fees, infrastructure improvements in a timely fashion. And the company said in a statement that replaced the website of the project. Until these issues are addressed with financially viable resolution, we have a responsibility to our shareholders and cannot continue to incur project costs. Wynn wants to build a new facility across Broadway. That's the street that's in front of Encore Boston Harbor, and it's across from the $2.6 billion casino that opened in 2019. The initial expansion planned a dedicated poker room, a second sports betting parlor, a relocated nightclub, a theater, a comedy club, parking garage, and more. It has been advancing as the city also works to clear the way for a professional soccer stadium in the same neighborhood. So we'll have to see what goes on. This isn't the first time that this expansion has been paused. In early 2022, Wynn decided to pause the permitting process for this development so that they can come to some re-evaluation on whether the development as proposed is the best use of the site, a Massachusetts Gaming Commission official said at the time. And we're just going to have to see what happens. It's a little odd to me. It sounds, if you ask me my opinion, it sounds like the government's trying to get more money from Wynn or wants more, more tax revenue. And of course, Wynn is saying in their shareholder call, they basically said, we owe it to our shareholders to do, we have a fiduciary responsibility to do things and can't just, incur extra costs. Exactly what they said was, until these issues are addressed with financially viable resolution, we have a responsibility to our shareholders and cannot continue to incur project costs. And that news was announced on Tuesday during the Wynn Resorts earnings call and was previously reported by the Boston Herald. The CEO of Wynn, Craig Billings, said that the decision was disappointed, but added that Wynn has numerous other development projects globally. We heard about one yesterday at Ras Al Khaimah, where we can redirect the capital we intended to deploy in Boston. So that will be interesting to see. I think it's silly because Wynn is a great operator and you would want to encourage them. It's just going to help the city, help the area, and Wynn does beautiful development. So I don't understand what's going on. Maybe someone can give up more comments in the show notes, or perhaps it's just that darn Massachusetts politics.
All right. I understand that there was a Baccarat heater that you wanted to talk about.
Well, I came across a thread in Reddit, and I will give that thread to Movestro to put into the show notes. But this was a really interesting one, and it was titled How to Stop. By the way, this is in the Reddit Baccarat forum, which I'm sure everybody who watches this YouTube follows. How to stop gambling and playing Baccarat? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Bro, how do we even stop? I turned 6,000 to 30,000, but I eventually lost it and only 1.8 thousand remained.
Ooh.
I told myself Yeah, listen, this story gets better. This is like psycho. This is fucking psycho gambling, like crazy gambling. I told myself to keep the 1.8 that 1,800, but after a few hours I decided to gamble all of it, and I was on a heater. I turned the 1.8 thousand to 32,000. I said to myself, I'll save 30,000 and gamble 2,000, but I lost again. So I had to gamble some of my 30,000 and eventually lost. Only 13,000 remained. I said to myself, I need to stop and just walk away. But eventually I went all in with the 13,001. Plus I'm on a heater right now, so my 13,000 is now back to 38,000. I keep telling myself to stop and walk away, but I couldn't. How to stop gambling? What to do? And the first Reddit comment is the best one out of all of them. Place everything on tie. And the person said, this is the way. So it's a very interesting, it's a very interesting Reddit thread. And I will give Movestro a link for the show notes to add that thread. But it was just crazy. And yeah, some of these groups, some of the gambling groups on Reddit are amazing to read. I also want to thank everyone who's been commenting lately, and I'm meaning to get in there and reply to some of those comments, or maybe I'll ask Movestro to also do that too. But we really appreciate that. We appreciate you listening, and we hope you come to ZorkFest. So look down below for a link to ZorkFest. Super Early Bird is almost sold out, so you might want to consider it. And if you need to get hotel rooms for ZorkFest, or you're not sure you're going to come to ZorkFest yet, you should grab those hotel rooms before the NFL schedule is announced, because there might be a game that weekend, and almost all rooms for Las Vegas could be canceled within 72 hours with no penalty. But we'd love to see you at ZorkFest, and if you have any questions, ask away.
All right, and before we get going, is there anything on your mind? Any closing remarks you want to share?
Didn't I share enough?
Good question.
Ooh, wait. You got to talk about that great article you put up today.
Oh, right.
That was inspiring.
Yeah. So we had a brief conversation on the show yesterday about Wynn opening in United Arab Emirates. And I asked the question, do you know what the laws are over there? Because, different place you haven't been to before, might want to look into the laws. And that inspired today's article that I posted to TravelZork, international travel laws, things you need to know before you go. So feel free to check that out. And there will be a video of that article posted tomorrow, Friday, on the TravelZork YouTube channel. So be sure to look for that as well.
Yeah, thank you. And that was a great idea for an article. I love it. We are posting on the TravelZork website all the time. Well, actually, Movestro is. And you might want to check it out, because there's stuff to read when you have time to break away from the Baccarat Reddit forum.
Alrighty, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Luxury travel booking, TravelZork Travel. Visit us at TravelZork.travel to plan your next amazing vacation, and please join the conversation on social media. You can find us easily. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.